5 reasons you need to get a Martin guitar right
now.
Hey, it's me, Baxter.
And Sean.
At Casino Guitars.
This is where we're at.
This we're at, like, you know, the new brain center of Casino Guitars.
It's so lovely.
It's lovely. So if you're ever coming by the shop, we'll maybe even sneak over here and hang out and have a cappuccino together. I don't drink those because I'm a man. But Martins, you've been thinking about it? Get off the fence. Let's talk about why you might want to do it. Let's get right into it. 5 reasons. Number 1, give it to me, Sean. What's number 1?
The sound, baby. It's all in the sound.
This is a guitar that sounds truly like a Martin.
Yes. And that's all there is. Number 2.
No, but Martin has its own sound. It does.
Yes.
There's a sound that is uniquely 100% Martin. It's maybe one of the greatest sounding guitars in American history.
The phrase I've always come to find what evokes in my mind is what a Martin is. The folky voice, you know? It is the folky voice from...
The voice of America.
Yeah, it just feels rich, you know? It feels thick and warm and...
Deep, overpowering bass.
Yes.
You know, like it's a throaty push forward. It's got the nice highs. It's not like shimmery in the same way as a Taylor. Right. It's different, but especially with the 28.
Yeah, well, and that's why it's kind of like, I want a Taylor for the shimmer, but I want my Martin to have that voice thing, have that low end, have that little rumble to it, you know?
It is. It's got like the sound of, like, you know, American folk, the sound, like, you know, the grumble of the angry South.
Yes.
You know, it's just, there's something about it that's just unique. It's powerful. It's true. And that's usually what draws people to it.
Yeah, well, you feel like you can almost hear 200 years in it. It just sounds that good. It just sounds big, you know?
And if you don't believe us, just go to any shop, any place you can get your hands on a Martin.
Yeah. Pick up it. Yes.
Dig into it a little bit.
Yep.
And you'll feel it. You'll hear it.
Yeah. You'll know.
Number 2, number dos, the way she plays and feels.
Bingo, baby.
And this might not be what you think we're going to say, because it ain't always easy.
No.
It's the opposite of some of the other major manufacturers.
Exactly. So whenever Martins come to you, right? If you go to a store and you play one, you pick it up, and you're like, oh, that doesn't play like, I don't know, a Taylor or something like that. It's not really meant to, right? It was set up that way because back in the day, whenever they were sending them out, the idea is these were going to bluegrass guys who wanted big volume, baby. They wanted it loud. So high saddles. You got to sand that saddle down if you want it lower. But
they've gotten a lot better. Like, they're not built for bluegrassers as much anymore. Right now, it's built for the modern player. So they've adjusted that. And that happened in 2016 when we all went up there and sort of whined and climbed a little bit about, there's a few of us got invited up to Martin and we're like, this is what we want. And they did everything we asked for. It was crazy. I don't know why I was there. It doesn't make any sense still. It was like George Groon's across the table and like Music Villa and stuff, and like always like real shops, like, yeah, I agree. This is what I think you should do. And they're like, okay, that's a good idea, Baxter. I'm like, what?
It was good.
No, but it still plays great.
Yes.
It still plays absolutely brilliantly. I love playing Martin.
I do too.
Even the hard ones to play.
Even the hard ones, you know, and like we have a D28 Authentic behind us, I believe, and those, you know.
The big old neck.
Big old neck. But once you play it for a little bit, as you're playing, you start to notice and your hand starts to shift a bit and you realize, oh, there's a certain way this guitar wants me to play it.
Fella, he brought his Authentic in the other day, just a couple days ago. He bought one from somewhere else and it played marvelously low. Almost too low, but I think he might have brought the sound down some more. But I was close to buzzing on the high E string if you really dug in.
Yeah.
Which I don't want to happen on my E36. Just a little shimmer, but
a little bit.
It's a great playability, but different. Very different than a Taylor. Very different than even a Guild.
Yeah, and a Gibson as well. Yeah, all those. Yeah.
Number 3.
Number trace.
Give it to me, Sean.
The look. The look.
Now,
once again,
not discounting this gorgeous thing between us. Now, the D41 is a monster classic showpiece of bling. Then you get the 45, and you just add a little bit more bling to the back and so. But most of the time, a Martin looks like a Martin.
Yes. It's going to have kind of a yellow top. It's going to have a brown back and sides, but...
Some type of brown. Either brownish or darker brown.
Yes, exactly. There's only 2, though.
Brown or browner.
And for me, though, personally, I really love that. Yeah, I mean, just a square... There's something iconic about that. You pick it up because it's not about... It takes away all the aesthetic for just a moment of what we're used to and just says, play me.
You know, the look is completely familiar and ordinary, but also gorgeous and spectacular at the same time. It is classic looking.
All while being iconic. Exactly. That classic, iconic, big thing, man.
Number 4, this one's sort of a funny one we're thinking about. Like, if I'm just gonna call it the dreadnought. If you're looking for a dreadnought, you're in the market for a dreadnought, there really is no other that like accomplishes what this guitar does. Again, as Sean mentioned earlier, built for the age of bluegrass, built, named after a battleship, but built to compete with the banjo, the mando. This guitar is loud, and nothing quite gets it to that sound or that level of what you think you've heard in recordings that you want to replicate like this.
Yeah, I agree. It's very loud. Some people will call them cannons, but I think sometimes it almost gets discredited for how articulate it is. It can really, it has a lot of dynamic range, and that's what I've always loved about it, especially with the bass end of it. You get a lot of well-rounded.
I agree. Even within their dread category from like 18 to 35 to 28, if you're looking at those as comps, I hear a lot of guys will come and be like, I want a singer-songwriter guitar, I just want the 35. I'm like, well, let's play some of the other ones, because it's not exactly what you think. You might actually find that you love the 18 for singer-songwriter. That's the most recorded guitar in Nashville.
Yep.
The 28 is still my personal favorite a lot of the times, just because I love that booming bass.
Yeah. Well, for me, I'm more of a 28 guy when it comes to like a 00 or a 000. But whenever it comes to a dreadnought, I actually prefer the mahogany, which is the 18.
Guy?
That's right, I'm a big 18 guy.
Well, and we had some fellows asking, like, vintage deluxe, do I get the authentic age? I mean, 18 or 20, I'm like, they're both so good.
Yeah.
I mean, do you want to spend $1,000 more or $1,000 less dollars? Which is crazy because it's so expensive already. That's where we're at. But no, I don't even know. I don't know which one I would take. I think the 28, but I don't know. The 18 was really rad too.
You can almost argue a reason to have both.
That's stupid.
I just gave everybody a lot of gas out there. It's
like
okay.
$15,000 reason.
I know, yeah. You're like,
Lord.
And then you can get a 35 while you're at it.
Unless you're watching this video in the year 2030, then it's like that's like a $30,000 reason, probably. Who knows?
I know.
Martin. Upright. Number 5, and one of the more fun reasons, the history.
Yeah, man.
You were buying a piece of America.
Yes.
With this guitar too.
A piece of America, a piece of, rock and roll, a piece of country, a piece of the lexicon of music, It's just all there.
The Martin and the Gibson as well, as far as they've been around since like they were there at Woodstock. They were there before. And they'll be there long after. Those are the guitars that sort of sums up our collective listening, familiarity and like similarities that we have.
Yeah, absolutely. And for a lot of people, I know the cream of the crop, the one thing that they always aspire to climb towards with the Martin is the D45 thing. And people think of Clapton, they think of Bob Dylan, they think there's a lot of people who played those. And I mean that's it's the Mac for a reason. Going back to the look, like that is a very ornate, beautiful guitar.
Well, and to have a family-owned business that is still family-owned and family-run since the beginning. Chris is just stepping down now.
7 generations, right?
Insane. And then his daughter will hopefully take over as soon as she is ready. And I feel bad for whoever marries her because they will have to take her name. I feel like I would. Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah,
Baxter Martin it is.
Yeah.
Boom. So if you're looking for an old man, I'm just putting myself out there. My wife might not like this idea, but whatever.
She'll love it.
She's mayor now. She can do whatever she wants.
When she's Taylor. Oh, there's the.
She's like, she can
Taylor
do whatever.
Martin.
But also jumping back in the history of what I think is funny and fascinating too, is that the D28 itself, not the D41, but the D28 is the most popular guitar sold across the planet in so many ways, as far as that size, that shape, but to the Asian markets too. Like we always think, American-centric, Eurocentric, but like Japan gobbles up D28s.
Love them, man.
Because of America.
Well, and I think the thing is too, whenever we all think acoustic guitar, the first thing that I see in my head is a dreadnought body style. There's no other way around that. That's what it is.
I'm a little bit brain dead now because I see a GS Mini a lot too because I love them so much.
I can see that as well.
I know, I know, but I do. I think of that. And I'm more of a parlor-sized guitar lover myself. That's just what I play. But then when you play a Canon...
Yep. You know me, I'm the same, but I've sat here for 15 minutes playing a D18. Just nonstop.
Oh, instead of doing the other work stuff we were supposed
to. That's right. I was like, I'm going to not do any of that. I'm going to play a D18. Have a little bit of joy.
No, the joy needs to be removed from our lives entirely. So let us know your thoughts. Your 5 reasons, if they line up with this, or if there's some other stuff that we missed too, because I definitely can guarantee we miss a lot.
Yeah. What are your reasons for wanting a Martin, buying a Martin, owning a lot of Martins, owning multiples of the same Martin if you do? Let us know.
I think Martin's one of those things that you can buy lots of Martins
I think so, man.
easily.
Yeah.
And the same model too. You know, like there's a lot of D28s I'd want.
Yeah, well, it's like we were talking beforehand whenever we went to go do this. For me, I feel like Martins are guitars that almost wait for you. And whenever you pick one up, you feel like it's been there, waiting just for you to pick it up and strum that chord on it, and you can feel it. It feels like 200 years all building up to that moment.
It's like a very expensive pound puppy.
It's beautiful.
Just waiting for you.
Just waiting.
Thank you again for joining us. Click like, subscribe.
Hit the bell.
And forever, peace be with you. Enjoy your Martin time.